What's up, people, and welcome to a Chivalry 2 video where I essentially talk about politics and the quote-unquote culture war. I figured this would be the easiest way to do it. I'm just gonna play a game and talk while I'm doing this. Actually, I should probably fix this. But there's a lot of discourse online regarding self-proclaimed centrists, which I know I never said I would declare my party allegiances, and I'm standing by that. I disabled? Yeah, that's disabled. Okay, I'm good. I would call myself a centrist. And when I say centrist, I mean somebody that doesn't align with either right or left and is able to think for themselves without declaring an allegiance for a specific party. So, you know, people would call it, oh, you're a centrist, so you're a fence sitter. You know, you just don't want to commit. Yeah, that's pretty much right. I'm not going to commit to a side, either side, that is spouting crazy shit. You know, the left makes it super easy to laugh at them. And I'm going to go with both sides here so that I get it from both sides. You know, it's easy to declare yourself a progressive or a liberal or Democrat because, you know, on the basis of, oh, I want to help people, I want better policies for people, you know, I want everybody to be equal, I want everybody to have this, that, and the other. And that's great. You know, in a perfect world, that would be absolutely preferable to whatever it is we have now, or then, or in the future. But it doesn't work that way because humans by nature are selfish. So even the people proclaiming in government that they are for the people and they want to, you know, have all these policies to do this, that, and the other, at the end of the day, they're the ones that are benefiting. Period. And that's, you know, it is what it is. Government has always been like that. You know, it's made it so much easier to say I don't trust the government because everybody's out for their own self-interest. You know, the right, it's always with the conspiracies of, you know, the Matrix and this, that, and the other. Look, things have been this way for God knows how long, and I don't see them changing unless we get somebody in office that is, you know, quote-unquote normie, as people like to say. But all we have in office on both sides is career politicians that have been there for 80 plus years. God knows, I mean, Feinstein, I think she's like, I don't know, 200 years old. You know, same thing with Pelosi, Mitch McConnell. You know, all these people, all they have ever done is government. And they're not very fucking good at it. Yet, you know, we're supposed to trust these people with policy and everything else. It doesn't work anymore. You know, people are so polarized. I just hit that guy on accident. People are so polarized to be, you know, you're either with me or against me. For the left, you know, everything I don't like is Nazis, fascists, you name it. I can't think of anything else. Nazi fascism, Hitler, all the other buzzwords I can think of that are bad. With the right, oh, well, you're a groomer, or, you know, you're, well, that's really one of the main words that they use, is groomer. I can't think of another buzzword. Shitlib. I use that word a lot. You know, both sides. And, you know, not to demonize people that are hardcore Democrats or hardcore Republicans, because everybody has their beliefs when it comes to policy. Me personally, I take from both sides, and honestly, that's how I vote. Is, all right, what? And if you say this isn't the same thing you're doing, I would find it extremely hard to believe. When I hear policy, all right, how is this going to benefit me? And, you know, fuck everybody else. But there are a lot of people that their idea of policy is, okay, how's it going to benefit the people? They're very few and far between, but they are out there. You know, with the upcoming election cycle, especially now, it makes it extremely easy to stay in the middle because both sides are just going at it nonstop. And the crazier it gets and the more insane people become when it comes to this, you know, political tribalism, the easier it gets for people like me, your average everyday person, to just go, I don't like either one of you fucking people. But of course, it's again that whole if you're not with me, you're against me mentality. It's insane. But that's where we're at. That's where we've been at. I don't see things changing anytime soon. And to go after centrists or anybody they deem a centrist is not the right way of doing things. If you want to win people over, stop acting fucking crazy on both sides. But that's not going to happen. I think it was Brianna Wu I saw say something about, centrists are just people that don't want to commit. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to commit to a party that is putting out policies that aren't benefiting anybody but themselves. As a self-proclaimed centrist, and I did not expect to blow up, you see, and I don't know how to say this without sounding like a fucking crazy person, and then people are gonna be like, oh, conspiracy theorist. There's been a huge shift in mainstream media, which I know is the right's favorite word. Oh, mainstream media, this, that, and the other, of pushing, a image. And you can say that it's been like that for, ever. But now it's even more apparent when you have NBC, CNBC, CNN, Fox News. They're all pushing for one side. It's not objective reporting anymore. Especially when the news tries to gaslight you on shit that is inherently false. Every day you have these bureaucrats and, reporters, I don't know how else to describe them. And this is going to be one example. The border. If you're not in a border state, you have no idea what the border crisis looks like. Me, I'm a Texan. I was born and raised here. We know about border problems. We've been having them forever, as long as I can remember. Probably since the inception of the border. But to sit there and go, there aren't thousands of people coming across every single day is insane. It's happening. Nothing you can do about it. They're coming from everywhere. My grandparents came over legally in the 60s. I've actually had I've had a conversation with my grandfather about this. They both came over legally. The problem is, yes, in a perfect world, get all these people coming over, everybody has a house, everybody has a job, everybody can do this, that, the other. It doesn't fucking work that way. If these people come over with nothing, you have to put them somewhere. They have to have a job. They have to have housing. They have to have all kinds of things. Anything that you need as an everyday citizen, illegal immigrants are going to need. Where are they going to get it from? Unless there's a job here waiting, which for some people that is the case, they have to be provided with housing. They have to be provided with shelter. They have to be provided with food. All your basic necessities for life have to be given to them. It would be inhumane not to. You can't just hodgepodge let 1,000 people cross at once and be like, all right, now what are you going to do with them? And you see that happening with blue cities that were going, oh well, we're going to be a sanctuary city, we're here for immigrants, and now they're complaining, oh well, now we don't know what to do with them. Yeah, what do you think is happening in Arizona, happening in Texas, happening everywhere else that's on the border? California, I would assume. You don't really hear much from California because I still consider it to be a nightmare dystopian hellscape, but that's besides the point. That's just my opinion. The fact is that people need a place to go. And I say we as a nation aren't prepared for an influx of thousands of people every single day needing resources. Which is why border policies were created in the first place. Because then you know what to do. You're ready for it. That's common sense when it comes to illegal immigration. But for most people, oh no, if you say that, you're just racist. No. This is again, it's common sense. You know, same thing with all this culture war shit. Your average, everyday person is mainly going to ask, all right, what is being taught in schools? And does it need to be taught in schools? Is this something that a toddler, a kindergartner, or whoever needs to learn at that age? Yes or no? And nobody's going to agree on that because people are going to parent the way they want to parent, either as absentee or, you know, fully involved. Yes, we got a mixture of both of those things. And nobody's ever going to agree. You know, you might have a religious fundamentalist saying, no, I don't want them to learn anything except about the Bible. That's it. I don't want them to learn anything else. You know, there's got to be a middle ground. There has to be something said of, okay, this needs to be taught. This is just basic human knowledge. This doesn't need to be taught. All right. You know, and the fact is that everybody's so polarized, there's so much tribalism that nobody's going to reach an agreement. And that's how it is with everything now. You know, the Democrats want you to be with them. You know, well, we're going to help everybody. You know, in a perfect world, that would be great. The Republicans are over here going, well, we need to, you know, America first. States first. Well, people are going to be like, well, what about the other people? You know, we have to help them. I'm happily going to sit in the middle and align myself, especially when it comes to a president, with somebody that is going to benefit me and my country. You know, everybody's like, oh, this nationalism is a bad thing. Nationalism is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, you can take pride in where you live. You know, to say otherwise would be stupid. All right. Go move to North Korea or somewhere where they tell you you have to take pride. And, you know, I have privileges here that I wouldn't have anywhere else. And I'm happy with that. You know, I have a good job. I have a roof over my head. I can afford food. Inflation's through the fucking roof, but, you know, I can still afford to eat. Not saying that that's for everybody. You know, I'm one of the lucky few, I guess you could say. And, you know, it all becomes so tiring because at the same time that you want to help everyone, you know, one thing when I say, oh, well, we need to help Ukraine, we need to help all these other countries do this, that, or the other, there is plenty of work that needs to be done here. There are plenty of people, homeless, you know, veterans. Don't even get me started on the VA. There's a lot of work that needs to be done here before we start trying to fix anywhere else. And that is the one thing that all politicians have in common. You know, I can't even go down the road without seeing at least 3 or 4 homeless people within the 20-minute drive that it takes me to get to work. Now, what are we doing about them? But, you know, we don't have any money, any more money left, but we gotta send money to Ukraine. We have to help them. We have to. Well, why? Nope, you can't say that. And all it is, it's all fighting. Everybody wants to fight. You know, there's no more. To be honest, I'm not gonna blow my own horn here. I kind of am. We need more people that can look at both sides. We need more politicians that can look at both sides. Because there has to be a way to cooperate in the long run. And I don't know when we're going to get that. I don't know if we're going to get that. We might never get that. You know, right now it's just annoying because it's so much infighting. Right now it's the culture war, trans rights activists issues, you know, LGBTQ issues. That's the entirety of the culture war at this point. You know, I would feel more sympathetic towards Democrats, and I'm gonna talk about both right now. I would feel more sympathetic towards Democrats if they brought forth more examples than Trump. Because every time you hear a liberal or progressive talk, they can't go 5 minutes without talking about, well, Trump this. There are plenty of other Republicans that you can talk about outside of Trump. And you would get a little bit more sympathy or willingness to listen if that wasn't the only talking point. Just saying. You don't like it? It's a fact. Look at... I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody that... I'm going to bring this guy up because I do watch him. Destiny. Destiny can't talk about Republicans without bringing up Trump. You just can't. I don't think I've ever seen a Destiny live stream where it became about politics and Republicans where he didn't talk about Trump. Like, bro, as much as you claim to, know your policies and politics and all that, why is he the only example? The only example? Why? You tell me you don't got anybody else? Nobody? Republicans. Anytime they bring up, issues on the Republican side, it's always, well, Hunter Biden this, Hunter Biden that. Yeah, I get it. Dude's probably a criminal. And in fact, I'm probably about 85% sure he's done some illegal things. But you gotta shift the focus here, It's... They find something, and I say they, I mean both sides. They find something and they latch onto it, tooth and nail. And then, eventually you just get tired of hearing about it. That's with anything. And I'm perfectly happy being able to sit here and say, all right, I agree with this, I don't agree with that, and then get called a fence sitter, than to align myself with something I completely don't agree with. And, there's certain things from leftists that I think are good ideas. I don't think there's anybody in office with the capacity to implement these utopian ideals that they want. But, it'd be nice to have them. With Republicans, quit going so hard on stuff that, especially like abortion. I personally, and full disclosure, I went to a private school for at least a quarter of my life. When it comes to that, there are going to be times where, hey, this might be warranted. You can't blanket abortion under this no category when there are instances where it might be needed. Plain and simple. Same thing with, LGBTQ rights. I'm in the camp of let people do what they want. What people do in the privacy of their bedroom is none of my business. What I don't agree with is if it's being shoved in people's faces where it's like, you have to agree with me or else. You do you. I'm like that with everything. I don't care what other people do, period. But if it's starting to affect me, or you're making it my problem, then that's a problem. If we could go back to the days of common sense, I think we would be better off. And I'm not saying that some of these people that are fighting for these issues don't have common sense, but common sense doesn't make a difference if nobody's willing to listen. And that's kind of where we're at. Nobody wants to listen to either side. Everybody just wants to wave the flag for their own team. And that's why, as a country, it's kind of a joke where we're at. And it doesn't look like it's getting any better. Yeah. There was a time when I would say that I agreed with, news outlets, that I would watch the news and go, oh, okay, the problem is that the news isn't the news anymore. The news is, hey, President Trump did this yesterday, or, Lizzo's wearing a new dress. And that's why a lot of young people, I'm not necessarily young, I'm going to be 39 next year. A lot of young people are turning away, and people my age are turning away from traditional media and listening to people like Destiny and Vosh, Hassan, Tim Pool. I can't even think of who I just named outside of Vosh and Hassan. The Young Turks. People are turning away from that because nobody trusts the mainstream media anymore. I don't. And I would consider myself a pretty level-headed person. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not an extremist. But there's been too many instances where they have said stuff and I'm just like, pretty sure I watched this happen on a live stream, and that is not what happened. And they keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and eventually you're just like, all right, fuck off. That didn't happen. You're a liar. So I'm kind of happy that alternative media is a thing now, because then you're not being gaslit and you don't have this constant feeling of, did I see that with my own eyes? Am I going crazy? And that is one thing that I think people were attacking Brianna Wu about was, alternative, streamers as being a source of information. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, assuming that the person that they're listening to is informed on whatever the topic is. And, a lot of times I would say that there are some that aren't informed. And then same thing as you would with anything else, you're just like, all right, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He just doesn't. But, you also have extremism from alternative media as well. Tim Pool can't go a week without talking about Civil War. I'm pretty sure Sam Cedar can't go a week without calling somebody a racist or fascist or whatever. So, there's no escaping it. And the day we all get off of this rah-rah, my team needs to win bullshit, is I think will be the day that we're all better off. The two-party system, it is what it is. So, I don't know. I figured this was a better format of doing this. I could sit here and actually play a game and gather my thoughts and make it a little long-form video as opposed to trying to rush it and sit here unprepared as to what I was going to say. But, if I ever have to talk about stuff like this, I'm probably going to do it in this form moving forward. Not necessarily this game, but this is a little bit easier for me to communicate. Is that the right word? Or it'll be easier for me to and I'd be doing this a lot if I wasn't doing this. A little bit easier for me to formulate my thoughts and kind of get a cohesive argument going. In this case, it's not really an argument, but at least a cohesive direction, the thing that I want to talk about. And, the only reason I even brought this up is because it's happening a lot more, where people are getting mad that, somebody says I'm a centrist. Oh, well, that's horrible. How can you're a centrist? You just don't want to commit. Yeah, you're right. I don't. I have no reason to, and when people say shit like that, it especially gives me a reason not to align with whatever side you're on. Plain and simple. So, I'm gonna finish out this match, and then I'm done. I'm done talking about politics. I'm gonna talk about other things, I guess. I don't know. I'm just gonna finish the game. Unless, of course, I die. If I die, I'll stop it. I'm gonna die. Yep. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, think for yourself.